you. Okay, y'all keep your mask on. I'm gonna, oh, somebody left that out here. That must have been 3rd grade. Okay, everybody look at me. Here, I'll take it, sweetie. Thank
Eyes on the speaker.
Oh, that's very cute. Did they leave that out here? Or is that yours?
No, it's not.
Okay. They must have left it out here. Okay, guys, can everybody hear me and see me? Whoops. That's okay. Just leave it.
That was a spider.
No. Okay, guess what month it is? Can anybody tell me what month it is?
October.
Thank you. What about the
October
season?
8th, my birthday.
I know. It's fall. Someone raise their hand and tell me some of the things that make you think of fall. Yes, when the leaves fall to the ground. Yes, ma'am.
When the leaves fall too.
Yes, I love that too. What else? Oh, golly, yes. When they change colors, that's a good one.
When she walks
Say that.
When the weather starts to get
Oh,
cooler.
it does. Yes, for sure. Oh, maybe. Like the trees look like they die, but they don't. They just go to sleep.
I think he's talking about the leaves.
The leaves? Yes, you're right. They do. They fall and die.
They change colors.
They do.
And the color of the leaves.
Yes. What about, can someone think of something big and orange and round that makes you think?
We're learning about all of them.
Pumpkins! Now, are they all big and orange and round?
No.
No, they come in
Square.
yes, they come in very interesting shapes. Now, everyone put your mask up. I'm gonna actually lower mine so you can hear me a little better, okay? And I'm far enough away from y'all so we're safe, but keep your mask up. Okay, I'm gonna read you a book real quick called Too Many Pumpkins. This is one of my favorite pumpkin books. And it has a really neat surprise ending. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Every year at springtime, Rebecca plants just enough seeds in her garden to grow vegetables for the long winter. She plants carrots and beans, tomatoes and peas, corn and rutabaga. She grows a little bit of everything except pumpkins. Rebecca hates pumpkins. When she was a little girl, they didn't have a lot of money. So for an entire month, all they had to eat were pumpkins. They ate baked pumpkins, steamed pumpkins, boiled pumpkins, stewed pumpkin, mashed pumpkins, rotten pumpkins, breakfast pumpkins, lunch pumpkins, dinner pumpkins, enough pumpkins. She decided she would never grow pumpkins again. And she didn't until one fall day, long after Rebecca's hair had turned snowy white. She was raking leaves that fell every year from her walnut tree. And her cat, whose name was Esmeralda, was helping her. All of a sudden, a pumpkin truck passed by. Can y'all see that pumpkin truck full of pumpkins?
Yeah.
Right there. She heard it coming, and she knew what it was. It rumbled by at harvest time every year. She turned her back and concentrated on picking up the last fallen leaf. She managed to ignore the truck until, uh-oh. Look what happened. Oh my goodness. A little bit, yeah. Splat! An enormous pumpkin tumbled off the truck and smashed into slimy orange smithereens.
Oh
Come back here and get this pumpkin, she yelled.
Yeah.
But the driver sped away. Y'all see that? It's just broken everywhere.
It's red or orange. Looks like glitter.
Well, I won't touch it. It kind of does. I won't touch it, said Rebecca, getting her shovel from the barn. And I won't even look at it, she added as she shoveled dirt on top of the pumpkin. I won't think about that pumpkin ever again. And she didn't until
I know she's going to think about it again.
spring. When Rebecca was admiring the new sprouts in her garden, she noticed Esmeralda the cat playing in some big green leaves growing at the edge of the yard. How curious, she said. I didn't plant anything there. Then Rebecca remembered the pumpkin truck and the slimy pumpkin smithereens. Pumpkins, she cried in disgust. Come out of there, Esmeralda. I will not water those plants. I will not tend to them. I will ignore them, and then they will die. She picked up Esmeralda and stomped inside. But a week later, the pumpkins were still growing. Hold your thought, baby. So she went to her shed and got some garden tools. She went to work on the pumpkin vines. She cut and dug until not one was left growing. Now there will be no more pumpkins, she said. But guess what? The next week, when she was weeding the garden, she noticed the pumpkin vines had grown back. She marched inside and snapped the curtain shut. The only thing to do is ignore them. They won't grow if I don't take care of them, she said. So she ignored them. She even quit using her front door so she didn't have to see them. Rebecca ignored the vines so well that in time she forgot why she had quit using the front door. Until one fall day, when she and Esmeralda went to rake the leaves each fall that fell from the walnut tree in front of the house, what do you think she saw? Look at that! They're everywhere! Pumpkins, Rebecca shrieked. Pumpkin vines had twined under the bushes. The entire yard was a sea of plump, round pumpkins. She could no longer ignore them. She plopped down on a pumpkin nearest her and putting her hands over for her face, she said, "Whatever will I do, Esmeralda? How will we get rid of these many pumpkins?" She thought and her mind went back to all the pumpkins that she had eaten as a little girl. And pumpkins could be turned into food. Well, we can't let them stay here, she told Esmeralda. Some people might need these pumpkins, and I suppose there are people crazy enough to like them. We will give them away. She marched off to get her wheelbarrow. Rebecca struggled to lift the first pumpkin, then the second and the third. She huffed and puffed as she wheeled the loaded wheelbarrow into the lane. "Well, I'm too tired to deliver these today. They're so heavy," she said. "Perhaps if I make them into pies, they'll be easier to deliver." So you guys are right. I heard several of y'all say pumpkin pie. So she went to work. She scooped out the slimy seeds and cut away the shells. After that, she boiled the pumpkin, mixed it with eggs, milk, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves to make pies. Then she made pumpkin tarts, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cakes, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pudding, pumpkin cookies, until, oh my goodness, pumpkin dishes spilled out of every cabinet and drawer in her kitchen. "Well, that's the first batch," said Rebecca, dusting her floury hands. "Now we need to deliver them." She put the wheelbarrow outside the kitchen door, loaded it with pumpkin treats. When it was full, just the thought of delivering them made her tired. Then she had an idea. Rebecca whirled around and hurried back into the house for a kitchen knife. "This should get people to come to me," she said. You're gonna see, look what she's doing. She took her kitchen knife and sat in the middle of the pumpkin patch. She carved a smiling face on a nice round pumpkin, a scary snaggletooth face on a tall thin pumpkin, and the word "boo" on a short squatty pumpkin. She was so busy carving pumpkins she hardly noticed how dark it was getting. When she couldn't see anymore, she went to get candles from inside the house and put them inside the pumpkins. "If this doesn't get people to come here, we'll have to deliver them ourselves," she muttered. Look at what she did. That's so cool. I love it. They are. Rebecca peered into the darkness for a long time. She didn't see anything, but still she watched and waited. Finally, you see them? Y'all see all those lights? Finally, she saw lights in the distance. More lights bobbing through the night. "Here they come," she said. "Let's make some apple cider."
Apple cider. Yeah.
I love apple cider.
Me too, but I never had apple.
Young and old, everyone came. Rebecca thought, we thought you hated pumpkins, they said. "We saw your jack-o'-lanterns from the end of the road and came for a closer look." "I was hoping you would," said Rebecca. "Where in the world did you find all these pumpkins?" "Well, I came by them quite by accident," she said, smiling. Would you like some pumpkin pie? There's plenty. She winked at Esmeralda the cat. Everyone enjoyed the pumpkin pie and cider and had a wonderful time. So did Rebecca. And when they were ready to go home, she loaded everyone up with a jack-o'-lantern, a bag of seeds for roasting, and a pumpkin treat. Rebecca gave away everything that reminded her of the pumpkins she had already hated, always hated, until,
Why?
oh boy,
There was so much on it.
all that remained was a handful of pumpkin seeds. Those she tucked snugly into her apron pocket where they would be safe until planting the next spring. The end. Now, when do we pick pumpkins from the garden? In the fall. But when did it say that Rebecca planted the pumpkin seeds? Do you remember?
We've been here for a long time.
No.
I
She-
like this one.
Me too. Do you remember when she planted the seeds? And the spring. So guess what? They grew all spring and all summer, and then Rebecca had to pick them in the fall. Now, we unfortunately don't have luck growing pumpkins out here because guess who likes to eat them? The rabbits, the squirrels, and unfortunately the rats. Because we do have a couple rats that live out here.
I was gonna say that I was gonna give you some fun.